Welcome to iPhone and iPad programming in 10 minutes. Whether you're brand new to programming or an old veteran, 10 minutes from now you'll know how to write apps for an iPhone or iPad. These iPhone apps are written in a tool called xCode, and which place you get it is on the App Store. So if you go to the App Store and you search for the xCode tool, you'll find it. It's called the Integrated Development Environment, or IDE. So install that, and it'll have some menus and things to make it easy for you to design your app and update the functionality. And once you have it installed, we run it. We'll go through all the different options, but for now we're just going to go in and do a quick project. Start this new project. They have some canned applications, some little wizards for us, something with tabs, something that's just one screen. We'll have something that has a master detail. Just have a list of things, and then we can drill down on each item and find out some more detail about it. We'll write it in Swift, not the old Objective-C language, and let it go and create it for us. And it creates the new app, and you can see it gives us an app that's really already written, has some functionality to it, just a little bit at least. We're going to run this on a simulator to iPhone 7. So what this does is it actually takes the code, takes the screen design, and it creates an app, and it runs it in what's called a simulator, which is a little program that pretends to be a phone, and it runs on your MacBook. So it shows screens that look like a phone screens. It simulates that it's doing what a phone would do, and the app is put on there. So we'll see it coming up in the simulator. So this looks kind of like a phone. It'll have our app inside of it. There it is. So this app has one screen that's called the master screen. And here we can add rows by clicking the plus button. It looks like it adds the timestamp. And we could also remove the rows by hitting edit and then selecting on this kind of do not enter sign here and click delete. And add another row. And we go into the row. This is what's called the detail view, and that tells us some more detail. There's not much detail here. We go into the row and find out some more about it. Basically, it shows us the timestamp. So pretty simple app, but pretty useful too if you need to have a list that you want to drill down on. And we're going to see how this is made and how to make some changes to it. One cool thing they've done in xCode is they have something called the interface builder. This allows you to build your interfaces, build your screens. And here it has a little kind of flow chart of the screens. You'll see that we have a master and a detail. And this tool, we'll make it large here, has some kind of quick functionality for showing and hiding things. So you can kind of hide this left list of the groups of files or components. You can even hide the right side, the properties. And if the bottom are shown, you can hide it. You can bring it back when you need it by clicking on the buttons up here at the top. We can also run this on a different simulator. So there's a lot of different kind of models of devices here. Let's try to run on the iPad to get that thing going. We'll see it has to build. That means it takes this screen design and it takes the program code and it creates an app, and it's going to put on the simulator for us. We'll see it starting up the simulator, and it's going to take the app and copy it over to the simulator and then let us see what it looks like on an iPad. So this is not lightning fast. And you might wonder, well, how can I do it faster? And we'll see how to do that in a minute. So you can see this comes up on a detail, and we can expand this little master menu. Click on the right, it goes away. So that's what the split view controller is. We have a left view and the right view, and we can kind of show and hide that left view. So we can add some rows, then we can click on them and change the detail. And we can do the same feature of deleting a row. So same functionality as we saw in the iPhone simulator, but this is right here in the iPad simulator. We could also run it on an actual device. So I'll choose iPad, and I'll have it launch over to the iPad, and it's going to compile it. And I have a screen display of my iPad here, so we'll see how long it takes to get over here. While it's working on it, we'll do a little more investigation. Well, there it is. It's already here, so that looks pretty good. Didn't have too many changes to make. We didn't change the code. And go through our finger and then do some things. So, pretty cool. We can run it in the simulator, or we can run it on the actual device. And this allows us not to have to buy all the different types of devices for our testing. What we can also do is we can view it down here and work on it within this screen. So say we want to add a different label. Select a component and drag it in. We'll say hello world in our label. This is a computer programming. And then we can look at the different screen sizes and see how that looks. So how does that look on the iPad? Oh, it looks over to the left here. So what we can do is we can put a constraint on it and go to our layouts and tell it to make it centered horizontally. Okay, that looks pretty good. Let's go back to our iPhone. Oh, that looks pretty good. Yep. All right, so that's not bad. We might want it a little bit closer. It's kind of pretty high up from our other information. So let's drag it down, and we can put an anchor constraint. So we have like these little rubber bands that connect one view to the view below it. So in iOS programming, iPhone, iPad programming, each of these components is called a view. You know, like in Microsoft Windows, they have windows. And some frameworks have widgets. iOS and Android, they have views. So the screen is a view. And you can see over here, the code that handles that screen is called a view controller. We have a master view controller and the detail view controller. Let's run this again. Let's see how that looks. And remember, we ran this on the simulator. We had this master kind of view, the first view that displays and hides. And you see how it looks on the actual device. Hey, now it has our change to it. Our change is there. And when we add these rows, you'll see that the view detail changes, but our label it's always hello world. We could also make changes in code. So this is changing in the interface builder. Or we could actually go into the detail view controller Swift. And the main function is view did load. So whenever the screen loads up, you'll have a view did load. That's for the outer view that contains all the smaller views. And we could change what text goes on the screen. I realize, is it a press or is it a touch? I guess it's a touch. It touched on the screen. And so we could list that out. And we could also put something out here, say view did load method. These are methods. You can see they're called funcs here, but methods. So we'll run this. Let's run this on our simulator. I see this time it has to compile it because we made some changes. Copying the app out to the simulator, running the app. And see, initially it just says detail view goes here. Let's add some detail. So we add a row, we click on it. We now see it even has our text here. And we can also watch in xCode to see when the view loads. So we can see it's in here 2 times. Let's delete that. This is called the debug log. So as a programmer, it's nice to actually be able to see what's going on in the code. So we go over every time we click, you'll see a view did load method. And we could even put a breakpoint in here. So what this does, this actually stops the code and lets you investigate inside the application what's going on. And now we're going to see if it stopped the code. Yep, so it's stopping the code here, and it's showing us a bunch of variables inside the code, and we can actually investigate what all is going on inside the application. So, pretty cool. We were able to go in, create a new project in xCode, and within that project, we saw that we had some screens. Those screens were managed with a storyboard. And we saw that each of those screens has a view controller, and those are coded, in our case, with the Swift programming language. And we also saw that there's some neat buttons inside the application, the integrated development environment, so that we can work with our code and work with our graphics design all in one place and do so efficiently. We saw that we have simulators that have different phone models, but we could also look at them inside the interface builder. And then we saw that we could also launch it and run it on an actual device. So there you go. We've written it out, and hopefully we didn't take more than 10 minutes.